Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for the opportunity of presenting on the UIA2014 Durban World Congress on Architecture. And Amira and I are hoping to offer this presentation to you this morning as an opportunity to get involved in what will be the biggest event on architecture this country has seen and probably will see in our lifetimes. Just to give you a brief introduction, my title is Commissary General and that of Amira is General Reporter. Basically what that means is that I'm the CEO of the Congress and Amira is the head of our scientific committee. UIA2014 Durban belongs to the International Union of Architects, which is held in Paris, which lives in Paris. This is the 25th Congress. It is held every 3 years, which means that the Congress has been running for 75 years. It will be held at the Durban ICC from the 3rd to the 7th of August 2014 and will be flanked by the General Assembly and Council meetings of the African Union of Architects and the UIA. The bid to host the Congress was won in 2008 in Turin by the South African Institute of Architects with the support of our National Department of Public Works and the African Union of Architects. The UIA represents 1.3 million architects worldwide in 124 countries. And here we are winning the bid in 2008 in Turin. UIA 2014 Durban is a unique opportunity to showcase South Africa's built environment on our 20th year of democracy. The Congress theme is Architecture Otherwhere, where we will be exploring other ways of thinking, other ways of practicing, other ways of doing things with other communities and other professions. Our sub-themes are resilience, ecology, and values. And the intention of the Congress is to acknowledge the built environment as a major force that can be harnessed towards a better life for all through exploring African challenges and solutions with global relevance. Who are we expecting at the Congress? 6,000 delegates, international, African and South African architects, but in the spirit of the Congress, which is a spirit of dialogue, we will also be engaging with other related professions, design and planning, students locally and internationally, pioneers in urban planning and thinking, conscientious activists for developing countries, academics and researchers interested in architecture, urban development and the built environment, and decision makers and forward thinkers. We will be engaging others through dialogue and experiential events. And in this spirit, our keynote speakers that we are inviting will be intellectuals thinking about Africa's future, leaders in architectural innovation, experts on co-produced cities and concepts of emergence, thinkers on ecology and evolution, and all those involved in the making of cities, including filmmakers, writers, poets, musicians, slum dwellers, government, politicians, artists, designers, development workers, practicing and academic architects. And we are very proud to announce, well, we're very proud of the fact that it has been for some time, that the patron of the Congress is Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu, who has lent his full support and endorsement to the Congress. The Congress consists of 3 equally important phases, which is the build-up towards the Congress, the event itself, and the legacy, which I'll be speaking about a little bit later on. And the Congress will be publicized, and this is very important because of the reach of the Congress, to 1.3 million members of the UIA in 124 countries, 10,000 registered persons with SACA, to the networks and databases of all stakeholders, partners and affiliated organizations, and to the international and national mainstream and design and architectural media. We are also engaging with the other built environment professions in this country, which total around 80,000 registered persons. Just to give you an idea of the extent of the publicity that the Congress enjoys, in 2008 in Turin, there were around 1,000 media outputs in the lead up to the Congress, and in 2011 in Tokyo, around 800 media outputs. For the Congress theme and more information on the student competition and call for papers, I'm going to be handing over to Amira.
I'm Amira Osman, an associate professor at the University of Johannesburg, but I've just taken a year off to work full-time on this very exciting project. As head of the scientific committee, my role is quite complicated and extended. The scientific committee is in charge of content, themes, program, the competition, and the scientific paper process and the keynotes. And I have a brilliant team that I work with. So it's architecture otherwhere. As Karen said, other thinking, other regions, other practice, other disciplines, and other communities. We are very much thinking of this Congress as an opportunity for it to become a catalyst for transformation, not only within the profession, but also in creating dialogue about the transformation of South African cities, as our previous speaker was speaking about. We are exploring architecture otherwhere through 3 sub-themes. The first one being resilience. How do communities develop resilient life strategies that allow for survival, productivity, and empowerment? What are the critical interventions that contribute to poverty alleviation? What is the role of policy and key decision makers in these processes? We're also looking at ecology, the role of the architect in a bigger and interlinked network, and encouraging a longer-term view in the sustainable design of the built environment. And something that we feel very passionate about, the issue of values, which we will explore by looking at both practice and education, investigating new values, new relationships to the planet, encouraging humility and a sense of respect through diversity, questioning current professional values, methods of teaching, and the ethics of practice. And we are hoping, as Karen said, in the lead up to the event itself and as a part of the legacy, and we are very actively doing this, creating combined learning opportunities for both communities and architects. As I mentioned, we are in charge of the program as the scientific committee, and it's a very extensive and exciting program, and it includes the UIA Gold Medal Awards, very high-profile architects that get that, the International Student Competition. There'll be a huge exhibition, a trade exhibition, and various other exhibitions that go with that. A student program which we hope will be fully integrated into the main event, and a lot of cultural and social activities that will happen within the ICC, but also beyond the ICC and extending out into the city. This is a draft program, but it just gives you an idea of how the program will be structured. Over 3 days, we will be exploring the 3 themes of resilience, ecology, and values. And you'll see that there are a number of parallel sessions. So there'll be the keynote events, but then a whole lot of parallel sessions where we break up. We're expecting probably about 14 parallel events to be happening. Then in the afternoons, people come together for very high-profile panels. One of them, the first day on resilience, Voices from Warwick. We're already engaging with the community of Warwick, and we intend to have them fully involved in the Congress. The second day on ecology, cities as ecosystems, and then on the third day under values, otherwhere in practice. And we're going to be within the next month or 2, approaching practices to become involved in this Congress. And you'll see in yellow there the student program, so they join the main events but then break up for activities focused on the students. This is just a larger, the first day on resilience, just to give you a bit more clarity about how the parallel sessions will be split up. And we're inviting you to the beach party on Monday the 4th in the evening. So the International Student Competition, which we launched recently, please do download the brief from the website, focuses on Durban and on Warwick Junction, and specifically on the cemetery site at Warwick, which you saw in the Mokena movie. And by the way, Mokena is one of the members of the scientific committee. I actually would like to mention some of my colleagues on the scientific committee: Hilton Judin, Mokena Makeka, Petty Morajela, Nolene Murray, Andrew Makin, Carl Bakker representing the heads of schools, Nina representing the Durban Organizing Committee, and I want to acknowledge Yanina and Dun, who are creative directors of the Congress. So the cemetery site we find is a very interesting site, and we specifically want to focus, or want the students to focus, on the cemetery edges. Warwick is an interesting, a very interesting place. Transport nodes in this very fragmented condition in South Africa create a link between the periphery and the center. They define places of interaction where different worlds meet. And this happens at Warwick at a very unique scale. Almost 500,000 users pass through Warwick on any typical day. It provides opportunities for about 6,000 traders. And the cemetery within Warwick is of prime historical significance, but spatially it exists as something of an island, and that is why we have decided to explore those edges of the site in more detail through the competition. The brief requires 3 products: a long-term vision, a long-term large-scale vision for the whole of Warwick, the development of a medium-term, medium-scale intervention on one edge. So the students must select one edge of the cemetery sites, and a short-term or immediate low-cost intervention that could happen in the area. And we're hoping the students will focus on unique needs within the Warwick area, and that is accommodation, short-term and affordable accommodation, innovative service systems and storage facilities. These are the prizes for the competition, and the registration deadline is the 31st of October. We've decided to also allow the final year students to register, so the condition for registration is that you must be a registered student and provide proof of registration at the time of registration for the competition, which is the 31st of October. So please do get further information on the website. The other thing that we are tasked with, and that has also been launched, is the call for papers and for the academics in the audience. It is a double-blind peer-reviewed process, which will result in an accredited proceedings document. Again, the submission deadline for abstracts is the 31st of October. So please do visit the website for further information on that. And in addition to exploring the 3 themes of ecology, resilience and values, practice and education, we're also actively engaging with national and international groups who will participate in this process. And we're looking at issues of the role of the built environment professionals in spatial transformation, in sustainable humane settlements, social and technical considerations, and the development of new visions for urban development, sustainability issues, sustainable architecture under conditions of change, and concepts of open building that some of my friends and colleagues will know I'm very passionate about. And in that particular research area, we're talking to people in Japan, in China, in the Netherlands, in the United States, who will be a part of the main event. Also the public health work group of the UIA, we're expecting maybe 200 to 400 delegates who are specifically interested in public health care facilities, and addressing informality and urban poverty through design, where our program partners will be Global Studio. And I think I will end there. I'm just checking. Yes, I would like to, as we mentioned, the Student Congress, and thank you to the Durban schools for all of their support and for working very closely with us. The Student Congress will be integrated in this event, and I'm hoping that just after this session, during the lunch break, if the students will meet with me here, we're trying to set up a national committee that will be led by the Durban students. So as I said, I see this Congress as an opportunity to achieve transformation and to really put something in place that highlights the role of the architectural profession in South Africa in spatial equity and spatial transformation. I don't think we have even started to engage enough on these issues, and that is why I'm involved in it. So I hand over to Karen again.
Thanks, Samira. So I'm just going to bring you up to speed a little bit with where we are in our processes and what you can expect in the coming months. Registrations open next week. We encourage you to visit the website and to register as soon as possible because our early bird registrations run up until the 31st of December. We are having a media launch on the 17th of September where we will be engaging the media and VIPs to begin with a very serious communications campaign around the Congress. You will have seen the first film. We'll be showing you a second film just after this presentation. We've got 4 in our series, and we will, by the time the Congress happens, have 12 films, which will form a major part of our communications campaign, together with a media rollout of press releases on a monthly basis. And we are also planning a travelling exhibition that will go to local and international events to promote the Congress. We have 2 major exhibitions as part of the main core program of the Congress. The one is the Trade Expo, which happens across the road from the ICC at the Durban Exhibition Centre, and the one is the Architectural Exhibition, which happens within the ICC and which showcases the work programs, the UIA work programs and member sections, together with the bidding cities for 2020. Our call for projects for parallel events will go out in September, and that is for events that wish to use the Congress as a platform to get their message out and to expand the scope of the Congress, but that are not directly related to the core scientific program. And as Amira mentioned, we'll also be sending out a call for practice participation by the end of this year. And all of this information is available and will be available on our website. Now, I think it's very important for us to mention the important role that the City of Durban has played in the Congress to date. They have been a major supporter in every possible respect, and they are using the Congress in a most proactive way to begin projects or continue projects that have been in the pipeline around the City of Durban to actively improve the quality of the built environment, to record architecture, and to disseminate information on architecture and create a much broader public awareness. They've got 4 work streams: promotion, legacy projects, satellite projects, and documentation. The satellite projects, which will be hosted in venues in and around Durban, will range from photographic exhibitions, various social events, performance art, and film programs, in collaboration with a number of different institutions, and here is an example of one of them with the Alliance Française. Amir has also mentioned the partnership with Global Studio. The City of Durban is very actively involved with documenting the architecture of the city and the work of the Congress through brochures, through a bumper edition of the KZNIA Journal, and through the films and various films and videos that will be created along the way. This is just an example of one of the catalogues that they are putting together to document the city's architecture. I think that there are 12 in the series, which focus on different types of architecture and different architectural movements. The legacy projects include the Durban Forum, Durban Spatial Legacy Projects, projects on education, including Open Architecture, which is a distance learning program, Be an Architect for a Day, and then engagement with the UIA work programs on heritage and responsible architecture and children in architecture. The Durban Forum's main project is the pedestrianisation of Pixley-Kaseme Street, formerly West Street, and the intention is to launch a pilot project of what would happen to the city and how the quality of life of the citizens of the city would be affected by pedestrianising the street, which starts on the left of the screen at the cemetery in Warwick Junction, where the student competition is located. It runs past the City Hall through to the beachfront on the right of the screen. Open Architecture, as I mentioned, is a web-based study platform, and Be an Architect for a Day is something that's been running with Rodney Harbour for a number of years now, and that we're actually hoping will, through the Congress, become something that the other regional institutes adopt and take forward on an annual basis as well. It engages with schools to teach them about the opportunities around architecture in terms of career, mentorships, and their futures. One of the public space legacy projects is the Pocket Parks Initiative, which is about activating unused public spaces in Durban. And the intention is to really engage children very much in this and make it a very fun activity. Also to look at urban culture and how it affects our public space. In this instance, engaging graffiti quite actively through walls of heritage and walls of pride, and bringing on board, as part of our dialogue, graffiti artists, well-known graffiti artists. And then through promoting the Congress through various means such as T-shirt otherware. And now that you've got a very good background to the Congress, we would like to welcome you to the Republic of Otherware, where we will be occupying spaces, building awareness in every possible way, and changing perceptions about architecture and the very valuable role that architects play in society. We'd like to invite you to get involved in the Congress. First of all, by supporting the Congress. Last night at the exhibition, I had a really excellent conversation with two of the regional presidents who are so keen to get involved that they've asked me for the promotional material from the Congress in digital format that they can upload to their websites, that they can print the posters, that they can include their logo on the bottom of their emails, so that everyone in this country, every single architectural professional and student is aware of the Congress and actively encouraged to attend the Congress. And so as from next week, we will be uploading all our promotional material to the website for download by whoever needs it in order to promote the Congress in a positive and proactive manner. We also ask you to communicate and spread the word. We are sending out the information to our databases and to the databases of our affiliated organizations, but when you receive it from us, please pass it on to everyone you know who might be interested. We'd also like to invite you to participate in the Congress, become activists for the Congress, and volunteer your time and energy to further our endeavors to make this a world-class and memorable event for our country and for our architectural community. And most importantly of all, please attend the Congress. So can we imagine coming together as architects, designers, city makers and innovators with the burden of our geographical or historical trajectories temporarily suspended, upended and turned upside down? What probable worlds will emerge? Thank you very much.